in this problem, Austin Limited, so that must be the company, is trying to determine the value of its ending inventory. Ending inventory, is that S or SH? SH. What I like there, it's got the word value of SH. Okay, sorry, my pen must be off a little bit. The following transactions occurred, and the accountant asked for your help in determining whether they should be recorded or not. One thing I'd like you to do is cross off the G. That's on accident. There's only A through F. I added a few more instructions. For each of the above transactions, specify whether the item in question should be included in ending inventory, and if so, what amount. For each item not included, indicate who owns it and in what account should it be recorded. All right, so let's look at A. On February 26th, so toward the end of the month, Austin shipped goods costing $800 to a customer and charged the customer $1,000. So revenue was $1,000, COGS was $800. The goods were shipped with terms FOB shipping point, and the receiving report indicates the customer received them on March 2nd. Are they part of our ending inventory or not? Sale was recorded on the 26th. The person who bought from us paid the shipping. So customer paid shipping. So the minute it leaves our store, do we own it anymore? So Jen is correct. No. The answer is no. We don't own it. It's the cost of goods that is S, sold, gone, instead of still here. So you see how it's more reading and like shuffling through data than like the simplicity of it. Jenna's right, it's a no. It was a no. Let's look at B. On February 6th, Lewis shipped goods to us, Austin, under FOB shipping point. So who was it free for? Us or Lewis? Lewis. So the minute it left on the 26th, who owned it? We did. The invoice price was $450 plus the freight. The receiving report indicates that we got them on March 2nd. We still owned them on what day? The 26th. We are paying shipping. Which was on the 26th. We owned them, even though we didn't get them till the next fiscal period. Okay. We owned the stuff plus shipping. So if we had to say which account did this go to, it's inventory. And although the stuff was only $900, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. The stuff was $450. We had to pay $30 to get it there. So actually our inventory would look like we own $480. C. Austin, so us, we had $650 of inventory isolated in a warehouse. So if we have a store, it's not on the sales floor, it's not in the back room, it's isolated off in some warehouse. It's maybe not even on site. The inventory is designated for a customer who has requested the goods to be shipped on March 10th. So we're doing our books for February. Do we still own the stuff? Could the customer back out? We've kind of earmarked it as, oh, there's, Johnny's pile, Johnny the customer, but It's not like Johnny, it'd be different if Johnny had paid for it, but he hasn't. The stuff or the inventory is shush, still here. We're going to own it, so our inventory will be there until it's both paid for and gone. Sorry, my writing is so hard to read. It's really a little space down there. I want you to try D by yourself. There's a key word there that should make it pretty easy. Try D by yourself. I have a new plan. I'm going to just write in this whole space, but you actually have a little bit more space than I do. Yeah. Okay. Try D. Do we own this stuff? Why is it a no? Consignment. Is it Ryan? R-Y-H-N? So I'm going to write really big so you can see and I don't feel so cramped up here. Ryan owns the stuff. Even though it's at our store, it's on consignment. Just like when Junk by Jenny goes and rents booth space at yesterday's store in Alexandria. I haven't done that for a while now, but yesterday's doesn't own the stuff. I just rent space from them. Okay. It would show up in this Ryan's inventory as $700, but it doesn't, it's not on Austin's inventory. Let's go with E. On February 26th, geez, a lot's happening on February 26th there. Austin issued a purchase order to acquire goods costing $900. A purchase order is not buying anything. If you've taken my basic business class, you probably know that and maybe have nightmares about it. A purchase order is just a request saying, hey, I want to buy this stuff. It has to go through all the hoops and then file back. That's how we buy stuff here at our school. Okay, I just bought a bunch of stuff for my personal finance class. A purchase order is not necessarily a payment. It's, hey, I want to buy from you. Send me the stuff, send me the bill. Yep, a lot of hoops. Yep, I actually, a purchase order doesn't even happen until a requisition is filled out. So I fill out a requisition, have Mr. Kehoe say yes or no based on do you really need it? Is it in your budget? Then he sends that on to Natalie, who fills out a purchase order and sends to whoever I want to buy from. So it's a lot of hoops. I am not the one. I am requesting or the requisition. Yes, good. Cardi, you look at all of your basic business knowledge. Love it. So going again back to February 26th, we issued a purchase order to acquire goods. The goods were not shipped or were shipped with FOB destination free to us on February 26th. We didn't get them until March 2nd. So they're free for us. Who owns stuff on a truck if it's FOB destination? The shipper. So in this case, we don't even know who that was. They didn't say. So we didn't, the answer is we didn't get the goods until March 2nd because it was FOB us. It was free to us, meaning the shipper owned it until it arrived at our place of business. There's not going to be a huge problem like this on the test, but there might be one multiple choice question. So don't freak out because we haven't done this very much. It's kind of easy when we talk through it, but looking at it, it's like, oh, it's a lot. Let's go with F, last one. On February 26th, again, Austin, so us, we ship goods to a customer, not SOB. This is a family-friendly event, people. FOB destination, okay? So they're free for who's getting it. So if we're shipping to someone who owns it, we do until the people get it. The invoice price was $350 plus the cost. It looks like based on a receiving report, that customer who bought from us got it on March 2nd. So in this case, the customer who bought from us and it was FOB them, received it on March 2nd. So in other words, we owned it from the time it left our store on February 26th while it was on that FedEx or UPS truck. So there you have it. Kind of weird, right? Let's do something that's not so weird, something that we're getting pretty good at around here. My copy is horrific up here. I would assume when you've got it in front of you, the print is better. Yeah, good. Holy moly, there's a lot of steps we have to do here. If you look at the top of my little chicken scratch, I had to run all of the numbers to even get at step 1 and 2 of our cheat sheet. It does look like fun. Woo! Express distribution markets CDs for the performing artist. Fish. Ooh. At the beginning of October, Express had an inventory of 2,000 of Fish's CDs with a unit cost of $7. That tells me right there, that's the first thing we have to do. I'm going to make my pen a little bit smaller. So, beginning, we had 2,000 CDs sitting there in inventory at, I had 12 in my head, but do you guys see 7? Yes. So those 2,000 CDs at $7 a piece are valued at $14,000. So really, I'm not using this right now. Don't cross that off, but I'm not really using that. I'm just stopping and saying, okay, let's run these numbers first. Okay, so I wouldn't, oh no, that is right. God, why am I so screwed up here today? I'm still on, thought it was going to be a snow day mode. So yes, you're right. Beginning, 2,000 units, $7 a piece equals $14,000. Sorry about that. Then they made more purchases, October 3rd, October 9th, October 19th, and October 25th. Do we have rising prices? Yes. So we actually have to run all that. I'm writing really big, just so you can see it a little bit better. So October, oh, we have a date. October 3rd, we had a purchase. How many did we buy on October 3rd? 2,500. What did we buy those CDs of fish for? $8, which equals $20,000. I'm going to just keep going. Instead of verbalizing everything, I'm just going to throw her in here. So far, that's usually been done for you. I missed another one? Gosh. I seriously need a do-over here. Thank you, you guys. Hope my shenanigans haven't screwed you up here. Whew, can I please have that line there and I didn't screw anything up? Oh, I don't have a line. There. So this is the stuff that's usually been done for us. What did we start with? Have we added more? Remember, what we're trying to do is just get a handle on our stuff. The top part of this page has to do with stuff. The bottom part is assigning value to what's gone. Okay. So step one on our cheat sheet is what? Right here. Step two is right here. Maybe you're getting so good you don't need the cheat sheet anymore. How many units do we have sitting around? Add them up. We had 2,000 at the beginning, 25, 35, 3, and 4. I have 15. Okay. Good guess, though. 15,000 things available. Would you like the other number? Do you trust me up here with my dog and pony show that I'm running? 139,500. That's the cost of goods available. Okay, so that was step one. Now was step two. Now we have to figure out what's still here and what's gone. They're going to give us one or the other. They typically don't do both. What they give us during October, 10,900 were sold. So sometimes they say, here's our ending inventory, or sometimes they say what sold. So then I'd come in here, minus the 10,900 that sold, equals what is shush, still here. Or in a little bit more of an accounting term, instead of me saying shush, ending inventory, 4,100. Okay, I hope you wrote a lot smaller than that. We've got 4,100 still here, and when we start applying FIFO, LIFO, and average, still here matters to first figure out what the cost of our inventory that's collecting dust is, and then we can figure out or back into cost of goods sold. I am going to erase all of this so I have room to write. Are you guys okay with that? Is FIFO first? No, it's not listed on there, but I will put it. FIFO. Okay. FIFO tells me that I am selling stuff and recognizing it at its oldest or newest values. Oldest. So as I figure out and I back in, I'm going to first calculate my newest values because that's what's still here collecting dust. My number that I'm targeting is 4,100 because that's the shush, that's still here. So we're going to back into that. My October 25th number, according to what I just calculated up there, was 4,000 times its $11 value equals $44,000. 4,000 is awfully close to 4,100. So then as I kick back words to my next oldest, or excuse me, newest purchase, it looks like I bought 3,000 things on October 19th. Am I going to use all of them? I'm only going to use 100 of those because I need it to equal 4,100. At 10 bucks a piece equals 1,000. What is my cost of shush? The stuff still here, $45,000. Then I can roll over onto this side and say, all right, well, what's my cost of goods sold? I'm going to take cost of goods available minus cost of goods sold. Nope, shush, to equal cost of goods actually sold and gone. Two of those numbers are super easy because they're right there on the page. What was my cost of goods available? The 139,500 minus what's still sitting here, the 45,000, to equal $94,500. That is what cost me, what was my cost of what I sold. Did I necessarily sell the October 3rd stuff or the October 9th stuff? Maybe, maybe not, but that doesn't matter. This is a valuation. We're recognizing our oldest values as what's sold versus we're recognizing the newest stuff that's shush. Tell me what's going to happen with LIFO. It's all going to be flipped. I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. We'll just start over. LIFO stands for last in, first out. It doesn't necessarily mean stuff, it means the values. The last values that came in, or in this case, in times of rising prices, the more expensive stuff, that's gone. The oldest prices are shush are still here. With LIFO, you don't end up ever really using the oldest prices because they're always still here. We're still targeting that 4,100 because that's what we calculated as shush. So then this time we're going to look at our oldest. And again, it feels like we're going backwards, but we have to back into what's still here, then we can calculate what's gone. So we'd look at October 1st. We had that beginning inventory. We're going to use all of the 2,000 things. Again, don't think of it as things, rather the $7 price. So equals 1,000, excuse me. On October 5th, we bought 25 items, or 2,500 items. Do we need all of them? We just need to get to 4,100, so we're only going to actually value 21 of them. Because that 2,000 plus 2,100 is 4,100. Times its value we purchased them at, $8,000. I'm wondering if I could screw anything more up. $8 to equal 16,800. Again, LIFO is looking at what's sold. We're selling the newest stuff, so the oldest prices are still here. Our value is 30,800. We're going to roll it over here into our formula, cost of goods available minus cost of goods shush, what we just did, will equal cost of goods sold. Two of the numbers are very obvious for us. That 139,500 was the cost we had to deal with overall, minus what we just figured out, 30,800, to have a much higher cost of goods sold, 108,700. The analytical side will say, why is it so expensive this time? We're selling stuff. We're recognizing it at more expensive values. When we look at LIFO, we're selling our newest stuff, and in times of rising prices, the newest stuff's pretty expensive. Why, from an Uncle Sam standpoint, is this a better option? Taxes, because we're not getting as much net income because we're going to absorb it in our expensive stuff. Because it matches the natural flow of goods better. Yeah. And here's the deal. We've talked about this a couple times already, but you don't see these dramatic price increases over the course of a month. You know, maybe even over the course of a year. So FIFO's got a better natural flow of goods. We're going to, like, think of the strawberries. We're going to sell the old strawberries and then replace them with the new ones and then keep getting new ones. So it's got more of a natural cost flow to match actual inventory flow, and normally prices aren't dramatically increasing as much. Yeah. Last one, average. We've got some work to do before we actually run average. If you remember, we first have to take our available divided by the dollar amount of available. Nope, I did that wrong too. My goodness. Dollar amount of available divided by available units. Our dollar amount available is 139,500 divided by how many we have. Our average unit price is $9.30 a unit. So if we take into account the $7, the $8, the $9, the $10, and the $11, and the 15,000 units, on average, they're costing $9.30. The bigger question is, why wouldn't everybody do those? Then we simply take our shush, 4,100, times the average to equal 38,130. We still do cost of goods available minus cost of goods shush. I hope you're getting bored with this because that means you're getting it. Again, 139,500 minus what we just calculated to equal a number that's going to be what relative to FIFO and LIFO? In the middle, because it's averaging. It's not the extreme low prices or the extreme high prices. It should be right smack dab in the middle. Good job. Shall we? Let's do this. Let's jump ahead to the last one while I have you on demo mode and recording mode. And then you guys can do this next one by yourself. Just, you're going to be able to do it in half the time because I slow you way down. Oh, what was C asking? Oh, that's the analytical thing. That's what we already just talked about. Highest inventory of the balance sheet, highest cost of goods sold in the income statement. We can talk about it quick. Which cost flow method is going to have the highest inventory amount? So in other words, the highest, most expensive stuff is shush in times of rising prices. Number one is FIFO, because our more expensive stuff is still here, and it would make inventory on the balance sheet look like it's more expensive. The highest cost of goods sold on the income statement would be LIFO, and it's kind of like what we just got done analyzing. With LIFO, you're selling the really expensive stuff, resulting in a smaller net income, but resulting in less taxes paid. So again, let's bop ahead to the last one, and then you guys can do that middle one by yourself. Two ratios that we talked about yesterday. We first talked about the inventory turnover ratio, and that is measuring how many times we are liquidating our inventory. So in other words, we've got this full on, what's on the floor, what's in the back room, what's in our warehouse, what's being shipped to us that we're paying for, what do we own for inventory, and how many times in a given year are we completely liquidating that or bringing cash value to it? Customers are walking out the door. If you recall, we take COGS divided by average inventory, which we know is a formula in and of itself, where you take beginning plus ending divided by 2. They'll usually throw in revenue in there just to mess with you, and you really don't need that number. So COGS it should tell us, was it 270? 270,000 divided by what we started with, in this case 60,000, plus what we ended with, again in this case 40,000, divided by 2. So that number is really 50 grand. On the test, if you are like, I can see that it's 100 divided by 2, so I just am going to put a 50,000 in there. That's fine. You don't have to show me your math, but don't argue if your math is wrong and you get the number wrong. Okay. So 270 divided by 50,000 is 5.4 times. It's not very much, you guys. In the course of a year, we are only liquidating our full-on inventory 5 times. So then you can stop and say, well, how many days is it taking us? Number of days, you take 360 divided by your inventory, inventory turnover, what you just calculated. So in this case, 365 days divided by the 5.4 times, every 67.59 days, so a good healthy 2 months plus to get our inventory turned over. What was Walmart's yesterday? 40-something days. Well, Walmart's super freaky wild as far as big box retailers. It'd be interesting to know, like, a Town and Country's number of days in inventory. Their seasonal stuff flies out of there. But if you look holistically at the nuts and the bolts and the buckets and some of that stuff that maybe starts to collect us, it'd be interesting to know. You get those small businesses, not that Town and Country is a small business, but relatively speaking to Walmart, I think you're going to see higher number of days and inventory turnovers. What could they do to reduce this number of days or increase the number of times? More sales, bring up revenue, buy cheaper stuff. Buy less stuff. But remember, it's that double-edged sword we talked about. There's that fine line, and I talked about the recipe for business success. I don't remember all the elements, but basically you want to keep your inventories low, but your sales high and have happy customers. I think those were the 3. Not forfeiting anything, like not forfeiting like having too low of inventory, because that's going to make unhappy customers. So I'm going to stop the recording here. You're all here today, so then I'll show you the answers to your FIFO LIFO average for that 3rd problem. If this seemed confusing, though, especially as you do the B set and C set in the coming days, this will be a really helpful recording to go rewatch.